Glad that you are here. We are so glad that you could join us this morning for some bacon and some pastries. But most of all, we are so glad that there are so many volunteers, elected officials, people who work for us, staff, everyone here who are all coming under the big vision that everyone in Orange County should have a decent place to live. Yes. We are so glad that you are here. We are calling this our Building on Impact Breakfast. This breakfast is about two things primarily. First, we are going to be looking backwards at 35 years of contributions to this community in the form of affordable home ownership. You are going to see a lot of stats, and you are going to see a lot of stories about people who are able to stay in Orange County, people who are able to be permanently here because of what Habitat has done and because of what all of you have contributed to Habitat. So we are all so thankful for all of your contributions. But the second thing, and we are so excited about this, the second thing is what we are going to be looking to the future. And spoiler alert, it's huge. It is going to be a Teutonic opportunity for affordable home ownership right here in Chapel Hill. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but we are so excited that you are going to get to hear about Weaver's Grove. A few people to thank. First of all, we would love to thank the Carolina Inn for all their good hospitality today. There are so many people who have helped Habitat build in this room, donors, volunteers, staff members, but few of us have done more to build the moral infrastructure of Chapel Hill than Reverend Bob Seymour, and we would like to recognize him today. And the last announcement, I hope that you are all excited about this. Again, this is a whole community, bringing whole people together, but we have a newsflash that Habitat for Humanity on Friday was named Nonprofit of the Year from the Hillsborough Chamber of Commerce. These are all just indicators of all the great work that Habitat has been able to do because of all of you. So we'd like to open our breakfast with a blessing from one of our partners, Pastor Cameron Barr, if you could come on up here. United Church of Chapel Hill is one of our building partners. They are such a great group of people who come out, and they are just now finishing up some of their building on our Crescent Magnolia project. So we've asked Reverend Barr to come up and offer us a blessing.
Let's quiet ourselves and focus our hearts on what has brought us together. Almighty God, you have given creation to us that we may all share it as our home. And yet unjust systems of our making leave many without basic shelter. We pray for families that have no place to lay their heads. We ask you to heal the inequities of wealth and access that divide our communities by race and class. By the spirit of your love and mercy, we imagine a beloved community defined not by its exclusivity, but by its embrace of all people. So bless us as we share this meal, that those who labor to build homes may be strengthened, that those who organize our community might be refreshed and renewed in their campaigns for justice, that those who have power to make policy may remember the stories shared here. God, we thank you for Habitat, for the homeowners and families that together we shelter, for the neighborhoods created in joy and in love, for the personal and institutional commitments represented here, for our shared pursuit of equity, access, and affordability, that our neighborhoods might grow more true to your love in the creation that we share. These prayers we lift to you, O God, according to our many religious traditions. For your faithfulness is revealed to us by many names. I pray through one who lived as a builder and carpenter, Christ Jesus. Amen.
Thank you for that. Our next speaker needs no introduction to this group. Her political sophistication and creativity on the subject of affordable housing is known to many of us. Her name and title is Mayor Heminger, but we like her so much around the office, we just call her Mayor Pam. Mayor Pam.
Thank you, and good morning. It's always hard to follow the preaching guides because they're so good up here. They welcome people. But welcome, thank you all for being here this morning. This is so important. I bring greetings on behalf of the town. I know we have several elected officials here, which I think are going to be introduced next. But I just want to say what an amazing opportunity the town, the county, the community has in working with Habitat. Habitat is an amazing partner. And I got the full experience of joining Habitat Board when I came on after being a county commissioner to help make sure that the community center moved forward. But what I got out of it was so much more. Learned about how important it was to work with groups together, connecting people together, to build housing that was permanent. And that permanence is the key. Families that are struggling to make sure that their children are taken care of, that they have a stable environment, that they know where they're coming home to every day, that it's a decent place to live, and it's a sense of community. But again, I found out it is even so much more. The whole pay it forward method is just a wonderful, wonderful way to be. You build your sweat equity, you put it in, and it goes towards the next house. You meet with other community members from all different groups across the community, and you put together a home for a family, somewhere that they can grow and thrive in the community. The opportunity to keep building more community, more housing, more places for the children who are our future to grow up, being rest assured that they are part of the community, is just a wonderful, wonderful blessing upon the town and the community in general. So, there's a lot going on. We're excited about this opportunity for almost 95 more places for people to come home. We'll be looking at this proposal, and it's going to be an additional zone. And we can talk about it. We love that. We can talk about it too. There's just so much at stake here for raising awareness of what Habitat truly does. I also had the blessing of being able to, when Habitat builds a house in Orange County, it builds another house somewhere else, mostly in Honduras. I got to go on those builds. Seeing what Habitat's doing in other countries is just truly, truly amazing. So, I also learned that in Habitat it doesn't really matter if you're good with a hammer. You're still welcome to eat lunch with the Wednesday crew and build a sense of community that way. So, that being said, I feel like I have learned more and gained more out of being part of the Habitat community, but as the mayor of a community that has such a strong Habitat presence, I just want to say we are grateful. Very grateful. Thank you for all that you do, all of you that are involved, all of you that have ever helped, better with a hammer than I am, but just for being there to build a better community.
I haven't seen that picture before. Thank you, Mayor Heminger, and thank you for your past service to Habitat and past service as board chair. It's been an honor for me to serve this year as chair of the board. I think the prior comments about Habitat are spot on, and it only takes the opportunity to sit down with a homeowner and hear their story to feel honored to spend time with this organization and bring housing opportunity to those that work and serve our community. I'd also like to recognize all of our public officials in attendance today. If you could please stand. Thank you for your You filled this room today, and our staff and organization could not do what we do without you, so thank you for that. Another round of applause. Finally, I'd like to introduce our presenter. This past year, Habitat for Humanity of Orange County celebrated our 35th anniversary. We can easily count the number of homes we've built over the years and the number of home repairs that we've made. But we're interested today in measuring our impact on education levels, health outcomes, jobs, and wealth accumulation for our homeowners, as well as the economic impact of Habitat homes in our community. This past fall, we partnered with Triangle J Council of Governments to conduct this impact study. To tell us more about the methodology of the study, I'd like to welcome Lindsay Whitson, Senior Economic Planner for Community and Economic Development. Lindsay will provide an overview of the highlights of Habitat for Humanity's impact in our community for the past 35 years. Lindsay.
Good morning. As you said, I'm Lindsay Whitson. I'm the Senior Community and Economic Development Planner for Triangle J Council of Governments. Full disclosure, Erica Brown is our housing planner, and she has done most of the legwork for this project, and she's out with an illness today, so I was told last night I'd be presenting today. So, with that being said, we have, at Triangle J has conducted an impact study over the last 4 or 5 months. And the purpose of this study is to provide a comprehensive understanding of how Habitat for Humanity in Orange County not only affects the homeowners themselves, but the broader community as well. So today I'll kind of be discussing the background of the study and the methodology taken, as well as reviewing some of the detailed findings that we found from the survey that we conducted. For those of you who don't know, Triangle J Council of Government, we're a regional planning agency located here in the Triangle. We serve 7 counties, including Durham, Lee, Johnston, Moore, Orange, Wake, and Chatham. Sorry, I recently moved here from Iowa too, about 2 months ago. So I was thinking, I was like, there's 7. And I tried to say them alphabetically, but I didn't. So anyways, as I was saying, we serve 7 counties as well as 43 member governments in the region throughout the 7 counties. And we also house the area agency on aging in our office. But within our housing department, which again, Erica Brown is the main player that focuses on these tasks, but we help assist our member governments with contracted projects such as like a housing feasibility study or an inventory, projects like that. We provide grant funding administration and data requests. But one of our other tasks is working with some of the nonprofits in the region, such as Habitat for Humanity, and helping connect external and internal partners with the right resources and the right people and things like that. The impact study methodology that we took, it was a 4-step process to complete the study, with the first being a focus group, which is not on the slide. The second being a homeowner survey that helped to measure the quality of life, an economic impact analysis, and a property value impact analysis. The quality of life impact studied these focus areas: family and education, neighborhood and social impact, financial impacts and stability, health and well-being, and the overall homeownership impact. So to start the process, there was a focus group that met back in October, and it had Habitat homeowners who had lived in their house either from 3 years all the way up to 20, and there were 8 participants. Excuse me, there were 8 participants, and they came to the table to help Erica develop a complete survey that would be applicable to the county, and a survey that they thought would be able to be easily navigated by the survey participants and easy to comprehend the questions so that they could successfully fill out the survey. Triangle J Council of Governments also studied other surveys that Habitat affiliates across the nation have used. A couple that Erica focused on was she used Charlottesville's study in Indianapolis, Indiana study. And then once the survey was completed, we sent it out to all Habitat Orange homeowners, and 68 responses were received. They had the option to complete it either electronically or on paper, and about half of each came back in both electronically and on paper. Respondents were anywhere from ages 30 to 60, and more than 80% identified as female respondents. Majority of the respondents were people of color, approximately half were African American, followed by Asian and Asian American, and then Hispanic, Latino. And the majority did work full-time, another 12% part-time, and 13% were retired. Nearly 70% of the respondents have at least 3 persons living in their home, and more than 90% have had children living in their Habitat home. And just to go into some of the findings, I'm not going to read all of the slides, but one of the focus areas was family and education. And we created these infographics just to show a lot of the positive impacts that were coming out of the surveys. So, for instance, the top one, 8 out of 10 respondents noted that their children now have a quiet place to study. While prior to taking the survey, only 4 out of the 10 children had a quiet place to study. And so this is an increase of about 40%, which obviously having a place for them to be able to study helps them succeed out in the field more and gain confidence and things like that in their home. Another focus area was neighborhood and community. Again, I won't read them all, but on average, homeowners and their families feel safer in their neighborhood since moving into their Habitat home. And 1 out of 4 respondents felt safer after moving into their home. The second point, since owning their home, 23% of the homeowners have begun to take a leadership role in their community. And overall, 85% of the respondents feel connected to their community. Another area was financial impacts and study. And overall, more than 20% of the homeowners responded that their monthly housing costs decreased after becoming Habitat homeowners. And owning a home helps them to build equity, which is a key component to the homeowners being able to build wealth. Another area was health and well-being, and 100% of the respondents feel that Habitat contributed to positive changes in their life. And overall, 99% of the respondents feel good about themselves and feel positive about the future. And the third step in the survey, or the third step in the impact study was the economic impact analysis. Some students and staff at UNC used a program called M-Plan Pro to help develop these findings. The top industries that were impacted by the Habitat home construction projects and rehabilitation projects, positively it increases the construction of new single-family and residential structures. Retail, such as building materials and garden equipment and supplies, and other local enterprises have seen gains from these types of Habitat projects in the community. Using an employment multiplier method, every job supported through Habitat's construction activities have created an additional 0.4 jobs in Orange County. For an overall, and I forgot to mention, this study was for fiscal year 2019, so that would be July 1, 2018 to June 30th, 2019 The overall total economic impact in the community is $2.03 million, and 15.4 jobs are supported with the construction of the Habitat homes. And this could be through direct jobs such as actual construction workers working on projects, or business-to-business expenses and overall household increases in incomes, spending more money in the community. And almost $850,000 in total wages were paid into the region through that 1 year. And if you have any questions, myself and my colleague Jenna will be here after, and we'd be happy to answer whatever we can possibly. And in the near future, a full report will be developed and I believe distributed via email. So. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jennifer Player. I am the president and CEO of Habitat for Humanity of Orange County. Thank you again for joining us today. We did go through some numbers and statistics, and so I thought maybe we'd take a couple of minutes to put a face on what we do here at Habitat. I wanted to recognize, I'll introduce our speaker in a second, but there's another Habitat homeowner who has been circling around your midst this morning. So if you see her, she is one of the people who is serving our breakfast this morning. Her name is Sapa. She is living in the Northside neighborhood with her sister and her parents. Some of you came and did a groundbreaking at her house, and Mayor Hemminger came and did that groundbreaking, and Charles Merritt, wherever you are, was there. We had a great event. So anyway, just wanted to let you know you never know where your neighbors are who really are in need of housing, and today they're right here with us. But I do want to introduce our speaker. His name is Mona Daniels. So Mona remembers the day that she found out she was going to be a Habitat homeowner like it was yesterday, and this was 23 years ago. Since then, Mona has paid off her mortgage. She has beaten breast cancer. She is retired from her job at the Cedars. She now is working part-time at Morris Grove Elementary School. And of course, in addition to that, she raised 4 kids, all of whom she put through college, and a number of them have advanced degrees. So I'm going to let Mona come up and tell you a little bit more about her story and about how she has experienced these kinds of impacts in the lives of her children, herself, and her family. So please welcome Mona Daniels.
Good morning. Actually, you can take that picture down. That was at the very end. I had already paid off my house. My kids and I moved here about 30 plus years ago. And we did live in an apartment complex. But as small kids, I always had to promise to them that I wanted a house before they graduated high school. So when I got involved with Habitat, they did a presentation on my late sister's job. That's how I met Susan. And I applied. I got turned down. But I was told, just wait a year and see what happens. So I reapplied back in 1995. On December 22nd, 1995, that's when I got my acceptance letter. 1996, in June, we moved in. And for the kids, it was different from being close to things, but they were more relaxed, more calm. Some of the kids in the neighborhoods they went to school with, so it made it easier for them to adjust. And for me, I wanted them to have something that I had growing up, to live in a house. And Habitat made that possible. It also freed up my money, which allowed me to do other things. But Habitat isn't just about building homes. In the 23 years I've been in my house, they've added on to their staff. They've added extra programs. I took advantage of the home care program. That was something good. They also added computer training. I got a chance to do that. I did go back to work part-time to check off some more stuff on my bucket list. But one of the biggest things for me was the financial freedom. All 4 of my kids did go off to college. They do have extra degrees. Between the 4 of them, they have 12. My 2 sons in the middle, which are the twins, they moved back to New York. I didn't think they'd ever go back up north. But they've been here for the last 15 years. And by knowing that they had a house to come back to if they needed, it made it easier, it's calm, relaxing. It opened more doors for them because that's what I wanted them to have, something that was affordable, to live in, to feel comfortable in. Not only did it help me, but it also helped my sister at that time. She moved in with me for about a year. She applied to Habitat, and she became my next door neighbor. Not only did it do something for her, but it also helped one of my son's best friends who was having problems at home. He wanted to move out at 18. And he moved in 2 weeks after my sister did. And he calls me Mama D. His name is Michael.
He's a burn survivor. And one of the things he told me at his graduation from college was that he only planned to stay with me for 2 weeks. And I told him, look at you now, 4 years and 2 weeks later. So Habitat does a lot to influence your decisions. It allows you to become a homeowner when you know you can't save up all that money for a house. I know I could. And others that have gotten their homes know the same thing. We may not have a mansion, but we do have a mansion. Because it's not tall, it may be small, but it's something that Habitat gives us the opportunity to be able to do where we might not have been able to do it any time else. The one thing I want to leave with everybody is something that my former pastor in New Jersey, the late Reverend Kelmo C. Porter, said: if some get some and some get some, it won't be so hard on some.
It's deep. I might have to think about that one for a couple days. Thank you, Mona. As Mona said, Habitat isn't just about building homes. Habitat for Humanity has been in Orange County for 35 years, since 1984, building strength, stability, and self-reliance for families just like Mona's here in our community. Our organization started with a core group of volunteers, mostly from our local churches like Binkley Baptist Church and others. We then grew to hire our first executive director in 1992, and now we have a team of 20 people, both doing programs, financial education, home repair, and of course, building the new homes that you hear about. We have a board of directors that are made up of folks here who either work or live in Orange County who are committed to our community. But even though I am the one who stands up here today, I cannot take credit for this impact that we have had over 35 years. I've been with Habitat almost 6 years, but I have to say in 1984, I was preparing to go to kindergarten. So I can't take any credit for this, but as the saying goes, we stand on the shoulders of giants, and you've heard about a couple of them already today, but I want to recognize and celebrate that first executive director, Ms. Susan Levy. Would you stand just briefly? And my mentor, we're glad that you're here. Woo, it's going to be a long 5 minutes. So Susan has said many times, and Mona said, that a home is more than 4 walls. It is a stable place to do schoolwork. It is the place that you come home to after a long day with stress and whatever is weighing on you to just sit and take a deep breath and relax. It's a place to shelter others in our community who might have fallen on hard times. It's a place where we celebrate joys and birthdays and graduations, reunions. It is a place of happiness, and it's also a place where people can buy a home and build wealth and build equity that can help break the cycles of poverty that may have been in their family for generations. So what is in store for Habitat's next chapter and next 35 years? We want to continue to build on this impact, build on the history that others have laid before us. The history of Reverend Seymour and Susan, of Sam Wilburn, who passed away recently, who was our first board chair, of Tyler Momsen Hudson, who was our construction director for 22 years. We want to continue to build on their history and build on our impact. And really, we have no choice. The affordable housing crisis in this community it really is at a crisis level. I would hope that one day we'd be able to work ourselves out of a job, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. In fact, I know Erin Nelson is here somewhere. Where are you? Here we are. So the Chamber just did an initiative called the Big Bold Ideas. Many of you came to some of those meetings and to that convention, and affordable housing was chosen as one of the top 3 things that our community needs to really tackle in a big, committed way over the next few years. I pulled some statistics over the weekend. The average apartment rent in Chapel Hill as of January is $1,412 per month. That's an average. And according to Realtor.com, the showings right now in Chapel Hill show that the median home price, the median listing, is $415,000. So what we do, of course, is affordable home ownership, and home ownership has really become unattainable for so many people who, as you see, are the fabric of our communities. Not only that, but our neighbors are living in really horrible conditions that we see on a daily basis. Asbestos roofs that are falling in around them, people who don't have indoor plumbing. People are living in overcrowded situations where they might have 8 people living in a 2-bedroom mobile home. So imagine trying to find a stable place to do homework, but it's hard to. I told my friend that this was going to happen. When it's hard to find a place to lay your head. People are driving long distances to come to our community to work, to serve us here at the Carolina Inn, to serve us at the hospitals, at our university. And these are people that then become disconnected from their community, right? Because they can't live close to their kids' schools, they can't really get connected to their community. So now that we've gotten through that part, let's talk about what we're going to do about this. So we're going to do what we've always done. We are going to build. We are going to continue to build impact. We're going to continue to build hope and homes and community right here in Orange County. So what Triangle J has shared with us is that really home is a key part of this puzzle. Home is the key to being able to provide this sense of community, this sense of stability, this sense of, I think Mona called it, financial freedom, so that families can move up onto the economic impact ladder that we all would like to see for others in our community. So I want to introduce you to Weaver's Grove, which is Habitat's newest mixed income community. If you've been around for a little while, you may remember this as the Sunrise Road development from, maybe 12, 15 years ago, Susan, something like that. So we have rebranded and renamed it, and we're calling it Weaver's Grove because we want this to be a place where we can weave community together, weave together different kinds of people, people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different ethnicities, different incomes, all coming together in one cohesive neighborhood. With Weaver's Grove, our vision is simple: to provide affordable home ownership that will benefit the people who serve our community and also will benefit the broader community. As Triangle J just pointed out, affordable housing does benefit the broader community. In fact, Chapel Hill native and Habitat for Humanity International CEO, Jonathan Reckford, who some of you know, has said housing is as important to community health as it is to individual health. Investing in affordable housing attracts new businesses, creates jobs, and many times makes communities safer. So the Weaver's Grove community will include 99, it's now up to 99. Thinking, can't we get one more, Bruce and George, just to make it an even number? So 99 Habitat homes that will be a combination of beautifully designed, architecturally designed homes, townhomes, and duplexes. And in the other part of the neighborhood, we'll have mixed income market rate homes that will be a combination of condominiums and single family homes. And why do we choose to do that? Because the vision for this community really is to bring different groups of people together and connect our community in a more intentional and cohesive way. Weaver's Grove boasts a mile of walking trails, a dog park, a community garden, a playground, an open-air pavilion. We also have plans, we hope, if we can raise enough money, to build a cafe where people can gather with outdoor seating, to build a community center, much like the Arena Center that we were able to participate in the Rogers Road community, where people can come together, maybe take more computer classes. Maybe there's yoga there. Maybe there's a way that we can connect people in a better way. And it's on the bus line, which provides those university employees and hospital employees an easy way to get to their jobs. Of course, it's better for the environment and cuts down on their transportation costs. So, sounds pretty dreamy, right? Well, with your help, we are going to accomplish this. Somebody said this morning, I'm ready to hear you say, we are going to do it. And so I'm saying it. We are going to do it. With your help, go. With your help, we can bring these kinds of impacts that Mona has experienced firsthand for herself and her family to hundreds more children in our community who may end up working in New York with their 12 degrees. We can do that. We can bring people together, not only bringing children an opportunity, but also bringing them in a place where they can swing on a swing set next to somebody who's different from them. I've been doing a lot of reading recently about the concept of mixed income neighborhoods and how it really does help families to climb the income ladder and to achieve the American dream. I have a quote here from Harvard economist Nathaniel Hendren, who states, in places where kids of different economic backgrounds are mixing in the same environment, those tend to be places where kids from lower income backgrounds rise out further in the income distribution. As I mentioned, parents will also be able to live close to where they work, finally able to be close to their kids' schools, maybe able to get involved in their community, take one of these leadership roles that we heard about in their community, coach a soccer team, maybe go to some of their kids' schools events, which are difficult when they are working an hour away from where their children are. And hopefully they'll be able to spend more time at home with their families and not time in their cars commuting back and forth from work. So as we said, Habitat had one staff person in 1992. We now have 20 staff people who are poised to make this happen and are ready to continue growing the organization. We're working right now with our staff and our board to determine what would it look like if we tried to grow our organization to build even more impact in the future. So stay tuned for that. But we can't do this without you. From our elected officials to our university volunteers, from our faith partners to our business partners, from our board of directors to our homeowners who do come out and put in their sweat equity, from our financial donors to our Wednesday crew. It really takes a lot of people pulling together to make this dream a reality. I do want to recognize one person in the room who is helping us make this dream come true, and this is a man named Bruce Ballantyne. Bruce has agreed to serve as the pro bono project manager, putting in dozens and hundreds, we can't even count them, let's not start because they might start charging us. Lots of hours, every day, every week, attending late night meetings. He was working all weekend. I was getting messages from Bruce. And he's doing this really because he believes so much in this community and what it can bring to the Chapel Hill community. And this is someone who's lived in this Chapel Hill community for a long time. So help me thank Bruce for his generous. So on your way out, you will be given a little postcard that tells you more about the Weavers Grove community. You can see the map of where it is if you don't know where Sunrise Road is. We have a little map there. It'll have a website for you to go, and you can see the master plan of what we're visioning here for the Weavers Grove community. You can sign up on the website to receive updates. We do start our meetings tomorrow night with the Community Design Commission, so we are forging ahead, which is very exciting, and we want you to be part of it. So stay tuned. As Lindsay said, we'll be sending out the impact study to all of you so you can read that in detail. We'll also be hearing more about Weavers Grove, so you can help us not only look back and honor all the good work from the past 35 years, but also look ahead at what we can accomplish together as we continue to build more homes more hope, and community here in Orange County. So thank you again for taking the time to be with us today. We'll stay around if you have questions about Weaver's Grove, or if you have any questions for the Triangle Jade folks. But again, we couldn't do it without you, and we're so grateful for you and your commitment and your time. Thank you.